What is the fastest way to destroy your RV without realizing it? Here's a hint. It's not what you think. The most expensive RV disasters come from the little things you overlook until it's too late. Let's start with the brutal truth. If you ever walked away while flushing your black tank, you know you're asking for trouble. This happened to me in one of my older RVs. It happens constantly. Someone gets distracted, a neighbor steps out to chat, and boom, your RV is flooded with sewage. That waste just doesn't stay on the floor. It soaks through the insulation, into the underbelly, and sometimes requires a full teardown. So, when you flush, stay put. No exceptions. Leaks are another silent killer. A single slow drip can cause thousands of dollars in delamination and floor rot before you even know it's there. Especially in colder climates. Like northern Arizona or California, the constant temperature swings sometimes are 50 to 60 degrees in a day. They cause pipes and fittings to expand and contract. I've seen vinyl tubing go brittle and fittings twist out of shape. This isn't a maybe, it's when. And here's a simple hack. Grab a foil baking pan, shape it under the water pump, and add a bit of silicone underneath. That way, if there's even a small drip, you can catch it before it spreads. I use one myself. It saved me from water damage more than once. Freshwater inlets are another sneaky problem. Picture this, you get to a campsite, you see a small drip from your hose connection, and you think, oh, I'll just tighten it with my pliers. You give it a little crank and hear a faint snap. You just turned a 50-cent O-ring fix into a $200 repair because the entire plastic inlet is now cracked. Don't do that, just hand tighten it. And if you're getting drips, replace the O-ring. You can buy a 3-pack of Camco replacements for a few bucks. Way cheaper than repairing a soaked cabinet. Now, let's talk about power. If you're not going to use a surge protector at every campsite, you're playing Russian roulette with your RV's electrical system. Faulty pedestals, low voltage, and power spikes happen more often than you think. They could fry your converter, your fridge board, or even your AC unit in seconds. I don't plug in without one. Before you ever pull out of a campsite, make sure your steps are retracted, stabilizers are up, and antennas are fully stowed. This has happened to me more than once, and I've seen other rigs drive off with steps scraping the pavement and antennas ripped off by low-hanging branches. It's expensive and it's avoidable, and it happens more often than you think. A simple departure checklist can save you thousands. I cover all the must-dos in my video. RV travelers beware. Stop forgetting these essentials. You'll also find the link in the description. That one habit can save you major headaches. Before you roll out, always secure heavy gear and lock the cabinets. I've seen coffee makers become projectiles. It's not just a damage risk, it's a safety issue. And if something flies across the cabin during a hard break, it could hurt someone or destroy cabinetry. And tires. This one's huge. Most blowouts aren't from wear. They're from heat, UV, and age. If your tires are more than 5 or 6 years old, they could fail even if the tread looks fine. I run a TPMS and always check my pressure cold. A blowout could tear through wiring, tanks, and the entire underbelly. Now let's shift to leveling. Have you ever auto-leveled and seen one of your tires lift completely off the ground? I have. If you have, you're putting your rig in serious risk. If your tires come off the ground when you're leveling, that's bad, especially with suspensions like Moride. You risk damaging rubber bushings, flipping your shackles, or binding your axles. I tell everyone, get your rig as level as possible before you drop the jacks, and also put some wood blocks underneath the tires so the jacks do not have to be overly extended. And when it comes to those jacks, replacing one isn't cheap. Mine cost over $1,000, thankfully covered by my warranty. That same plan also replaced my water pump. I've had extended warranties on my RVs, and every single one has paid for itself. So if you're on the fence, I'd strongly consider it. Speaking of batteries, don't forget about maintenance. If you're running lead acid, you need to check water levels. If you have lithium batteries, protect them in freezing temps, or you'll ruin them fast. A battery monitor isn't optional. It's the difference between running out of juice and knowing exactly where you stand. Also, don't forget your HVAC. Dirty furnace or AC filters can choke airflow, freeze coils, or overwork the blower. It's an easy thing to clean, and skipping it can burn out your system way before it's time. And don't forget your slide seals, or mechanisms. A gritty, dry slide track can bind or twist and ruin your gear system. I clean and lube my slide seals regularly, and it takes less than 10 minutes. Trust me, it's better than finding a stuck slide in the rain. And here's a big one, rodents. Rodents are another hidden menace, especially in colder months. Mice and rats can get in your rig and chew through wiring, insulation, and even your plumbing lines. I use peppermint oil packs and steel wool in every gap when I'm parked for a while. Prevention is the key here. Speaking of repairs, only top off your hydraulic fluid when all jacks are up and you're hitched to your tow vehicle. If you add fluid while jacks are extended, you'll overflow the system when you retract them. And fluid all over your battery bay is no fun to clean. Let's talk about gadgets and winter mistakes. One of the best cold weather upgrades I've added is a Lippert Flow compressed air water flushing system. You just hook it up, press a button, and it automatically clears your water line before you leave the rig. It's a game changer in freezing weather and can save you a ton of propane. But remember, flushing the main water lines isn't enough. Appliances like your washer, dryer, or ice maker often have hidden lines that need to be winterized separately. Skip them, and you'll be dealing with cracked valves or ruptured hoses in the spring. I won't winterize without the flow system now. And if you want to check it out, I've linked it below in the description. And please don't just use any tank chemical. Formaldehyde-based treatments can destroy your sensors and the beneficial bacteria that break down solids. I always use enzyme-based or RV-safe treatments. It's a few bucks more, but it keeps your tank system working like it should. Not all gadgets are worth the money. Case in point, the Rhino Blast Pro without a gate valve. Don't buy it. It lets the water flow straight through, but it doesn't build volume for flushing. Total waste of money. Always use a back flush device with a gate valve so pressure builds inside the tank before release. I also use the Flush King, and it works great. Or, if needed, add a twist-on blade valve to whatever you're using, but don't flush without one. Now, propane while driving. Huge debate. And here's how I approach it. If your RV manufacturer says shut it off, then do that. If they don't, and you're running an absorption fridge or furnace in the cold, leave it on. If it's 10 degrees Fahrenheit outside, you don't want your pipes freezing mid-drive. Lastly, your generator. Start it once a month. Just let it run for an hour or two. Use a stabilizer if the rig's parked, and top off your gas every couple of months. I've skipped this before, and I regretted it. These engines aren't meant to sit, and neither are the fuel systems. Same goes for your roof. Inspect it every 30 to 45 days. Sealant goes bad fast, and roof leaks ruin rigs. Stay on top of it. At the end of the day, there's no real manual for RV ownership. We're all learning as we go, and that's why I make these videos. If you like this video and it saves you time, money, or stress, please help that next RVer out by hitting the like button. The YouTube algorithm will share it with more people that need to see it. It helps the channel, but more importantly, it helps other RVers find real advice and avoid costly disasters. And if you've got a tip of your own or a repair fail to admit to, drop it in the comments. We've all been there. Safe travels, and remember, poop water waste for no one.